everybody. My name is Mars. You can call me MG if you would like, and I am once again starting a vlog at 9 p.m. because I want to read a book, but that book is for a vlog, so I have to start the vlog before I can start reading the book. This is my third week of 1 week, 1 hrcyed prompt that I'm doing for the month of December, and if you missed it in the last vlog, I spun the wheel to see which prompt it would be giving me, and I got By the 100s, which is a prompt where you have a book for 100-something pages, 200-something pages, etc., up to 700-something pages. We're not doing the 700-page book, though. We're doing the 600-page book, which is only moderately better, and that is the book that I will be starting right now, and that is this chunker, Sea Sparrow by Kristen Kishore. So long. I have it checked out from the library. I also have the ebook checked out on Libby, just in case I'm like out and about and I have time to read and I don't have this with me, because why would I bring this places? Like, this is so unwieldy. But this is the most recent book in the Graceling Realm series. It is book number 5. Loud car going by. When was this published? Let's see. 2022. So a few years ago now, but there is every chance that this author publishes more in this world because the first 3 books, Graceling, Fire, and Bitter Blue, were published in like the 2010s, like a long time ago, and then like a decade passed, and then 2 more books were published in the series. So Graceling is the original book. Fire is like a companion novel that takes place on a different part of the continent and is kind of like only loosely connected. And then Bitter Blue takes place several years later and connects Graceling and Fire. Then there was Winterkeep, which is the first of the 2 novels that came out many, many years later, and that is a direct sequel to Bitter Blue, and this is a direct sequel to Winterkeep. I didn't love Winterkeep. I was disappointed by the execution of it. I felt like so many cars going by. I felt like the characters were kind of like mishandled. Does that make sense? Like, not that they really acted out of character, but sometimes they just didn't feel like the same characters I'd been reading about. So this one I don't have the highest hopes for, but the original Graceling books do have a very special place in my heart. I have copies of the original covers because I read them when they first came out and loved them. But then, yeah, Winterkeep, kind of disappointing. This one is also told from the POV of one of my least favorite characters, Hava. She is... I don't know how to explain this. I was going to tell you something about her, but that would be a spoiler for something you learn in Bitter Blue. But, she's traveling with Bitter Blue, who is a queen, and they are traveling back to the kingdom that Bitter Blue is the queen of, and there's like a shipwreck or something, and then they have to travel back through this like treacherous land, and that is all I know about Sea Sparrow. That and the fact that it is from the point of view of Hava, who I am not a huge fan of. I just think she's kind of bland as a character. She does have a really cool magical ability where she can like alter people's perceptions of her, so she's very good at like hiding, and like the way it's explained in the book is very interesting, but as a character I don't care much for her. So to spend the next 600-something pages in her head is not an especially exciting time for me, but I am still excited to continue on in this series because it is one that is very special to me, and I will be completing a series, catching up on a series. Again, I'm not sure if she's gonna ever publish more in this world, but yeah, I'm gonna get started on this, and hopefully it reads fast because it's very thick. The text is quite small, but the chapters are very short, so like I'm hoping that balances it out, and the fact that it is YA should make it go by faster. But yes, I've done enough procrastinating. I'm going to spend the next hour or so reading to try and get a good chunk of this read, because I don't want it to take me a million years to finish. I've only got a week to do this vlog. friends. It is 11 a.m. on Tuesday, and I have to get ready for work, but first I want to update you on Sea Sparrow, because I've just hit the end of part 1, which is a couple of pages over the 1/3 mark, and I am conflicted about this. I don't like the writing style, so it is first person, which I don't think any of the other Graceling books are first person, unless I'm just misremembering. I'm pretty sure they're written in third person, but this is first person from Hava's POV. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of Hava. She's not a very interesting character to me. She's like 21 in this book, but she kind of reads much younger, like 14 or 15, maybe even like 12 or 13. She's very childish, which kind of makes sense because of the childhood that she had and just the upbringing that she had, but it's still like kind of annoying to deal with. It also is like written in such a weird way that the main story is in past tense, but very frequently Hava will directly address the reader in present tense, and I just don't understand that. It's so jarring every time, and I don't like it. I don't enjoy being addressed. I don't feel like that is necessary for this book. Also, now we're 200 pages in, and I feel like it's a very fast read, and things are happening, but I don't think we needed 200 pages to get here. We're just at the inciting incident, which is the ship crashing and them being like adrift and having to find out how to get home now. Like, this definitely did not need to be 200 pages. There was a lot going on, so like I do understand this being a bigger book, but it doesn't have to be like 600 pages. But yeah, I am not loving it, but I'm enjoying it enough to keep going. I think I'm enjoying it more than I enjoyed Winterkeep, which is fun. Did not like Winterkeep pretty much at all. But I don't know where part 2 ends. Ooh, did I just see that? Yes, so part 2 ends on page 362, so about 160 pages. I will read and then come back to you. I am starting to think this might be a one-book vlog, because I don't see how I can read all of this and the Odyssey, which I looked, and the font is much smaller in that book than I thought it was. I don't see how I can read both of these in enough time to get this vlog up when it is supposed to. So you might get one book, you might get 1.5. Maybe I will do what I did last week and find a completely different book from hrcyed from a completely different prompt and read that, just so it's not only me reading this book. We'll see. We'll see how things go. But yeah, I am off to work, and then I will come home tonight, and I do have quite a bit left on my to-do list, but I will do some more reading. Probably I will get into bed and do some reading before I go to sleep, and then I will update you at some point when I finish part 2. Hello friends, it is 9:30 p.m. on Thursday. I'm pretty sure I didn't read a single page yesterday, but honestly my days are blending together because they are so hectic. Work has been crazy. I think I mentioned that it's the last week that the store is open, so a lot of people have been ordering quarts and pints of ice cream, which we have to scoop one at a time because we don't like have them already made. It's like we make the ice cream in the store, and then they're in these big tubs that we then have to scoop into whatever people order. So been doing that all day, every day for this whole week. People really want a lot of ice cream, even though we're only closing for a few weeks. We're taking a very short break, I think like 3 weeks, maybe 4 at the most. But people are acting like they're not going to get ice cream for months. So it's just been a lot, and I feel like I have no energy when I get home, even to do something as passive as reading. But today I did manage to get a little bit more done, and I have finished part 2 of Sea Sparrow, so now I am 360-ish pages in. I've got about 140 pages left, and I have accepted the fact that this is going to be a one-book vlog. I'm not going to fit in the Odyssey. I'm not going to fit in any other book, and that's okay. Sometimes, you just gotta take it easy, and this is when I'm taking it easy. So, yeah, I enjoyed this section quite a bit. The end of part 1 was the whole, crash and, escaping the ship. That's a fun sound happening outside. I don't know if you heard that scraping sound. There's been road work happening these past couple of days, which has also been very stressful for me, because it is on our block. We live in, the middle of the block, so we're, equally between 2 cross streets, and on one of those cross streets at that corner, they're, digging up pipes or something, replacing pipes maybe, I don't know. But there's, a big divot in the ground that's, just shallow enough that people don't notice it right away, but just deep enough that if they don't slow down, it's, kind of dangerous. And so I've been hearing people take it too fast and, scraping the fronts of their cars all day for several days now. Crazy. But yeah, if you did hear that sound, I'm sorry. Where was I? What was I saying? Oh yeah, this second part is the crew traveling across this, tundra to reach civilization, and it somehow manages to not be super repetitive despite the fact that they're doing the same thing every single day. I do feel like I'm enjoying this more as I read it. Still not my favorite. The writing style has toned down a little bit, we're cutting to Hava directly addressing the reader a lot less than we were in part 1, but it still has happened sometimes. So I'm glad that it's getting better. Still not a favorite, but I do enjoy it more than I did Winterkeep, so that's great. Yeah, I think that's my whole update. I don't know. 140-ish pages left, and I don't know when I'll finish it. Honestly, I've got work from 11 to 5 again tomorrow, but I'm gonna go in early because it's our last day open to sell things, and so anything that I want to buy, I have to do it tomorrow, and all of my family wants ice cream for Christmas, so I have to scoop 8 pints of ice cream for my family, and I'm gonna go in early to do that before my shift starts. And then Saturday, I have work 3 to 7 to finish cleaning the store, because we have to do a big cleanup before we close, because no one's going to be in the store for several weeks. You don't want it to be dirty and gross. So, very tiring. It'll be my 6th day in a row working a shift Saturday. And then I'm off for a few weeks, which is great, except I have to survive the holidays first. So, yeah, I'll finish this up at some point and update you then with my final thoughts, and then we will spin the wheel to see what I'll be reading in the last 1 week 1 hrcyed prompt vlog, which I hope it's a very kind one because it is the week of Christmas, and I will be doing quite a bit of traveling, and some people will be traveling to visit me and my boyfriend here, so I just need it to be another gentle week, but we'll see what the wheel gives me when that happens. morning, friends. It is 9:15 on Saturday, and I've just finished Sea Sparrow. This was a beast of a book. It definitely did not need to be as long as it was, but I still enjoyed more than I disliked. I was pleasantly surprised by this book. I didn't mind Hava as a narrator once I got to know her a little bit more. She's still not my favorite character in the whole series, but like, she's fine. The really weird interjections directed directly to the reader. Directed directly, clearly I haven't turned my brain on yet. But when Hava, as the narrator, directly addressed the reader, those moments became far fewer and also kind of morphed into her addressing a different character from a previous book who's not actually in this story, but like that character's story ties directly into Hava's. So it kind of changed a little bit, and I thought that was weird but better than addressing the reader in this case. I think my favorite part of it was definitely the middle section. I just really enjoyed everything that was happening there. I also did really enjoy the beginning section where they were at sea. That was really fun. But this last section was very slow, and I understand why it was slow and why the story was told in the way that it was, but I feel like it could have been told in this way and not been so long. So, yeah, definitely not a perfect book, but I did like it. I can say that with confidence. I liked this book. I think in terms of the whole Graceling Realm series, number one favorite is Bitter Blue. Love that book so much. Then Graceling. Then I would put Sea Sparrow. I would put Sea Sparrow middle of the pack. Then, probably Fire and then Winterkeep. Fire is a tough one for me because I remember really, really liking it as a teenager when I first read it. I read it when it first came out and loved it. But recently, in the past couple of years, I reread it, and there were just some questionable things that I wasn't a fan of, like a 15-year-old getting pregnant by a 25-year-old or something like that, like someone in their mid 20s, and then that relationship doesn't work out, and the 15-year-old ends up being in a relationship with an even older man who I think is like 33, 34 years old. And then there's also like a 17-year-old getting with someone in their late 20s, and like some of the relationship stuff in Fire is not my favorite, and it's a much bigger part in Fire than it is any of the other books in the series. I mean, Graceling, the relationship is a big part, but it also ties into the plot a lot more. Like, it's not the central part of the plot, but it does weave into it very well. Fire, it's just a lot. It's just a lot, and I'm not a big fan. Bitter Blue, there is a relationship, but again, it ties into like the plot and the emotional arc of the character. Winterkeep, there's a relationship, so okay. This definitely has nothing to do with anything, but I'm gonna explain it anyway. So in Bitter Blue, there are two characters who I want to get together so badly. Like, I just really feel like they work so well together. And then in Winterkeep, they actually get together, but it's in such an insane, out of character way that it kind of like broke the ship for me. I didn't care about that at all. And they're still together in Sea Sparrow, which I do like it better in Sea Sparrow, but like I just really dislike Winterkeep as a book. I didn't like it at all. But yeah, Sea Sparrow was fine. It was an okay book. And like I said, this is just gonna be a one book vlog, so we get to spin the wheel and see what I get to read for week 4. I think I might adjust the wheel a little bit and only put on prompts that will give me easy books, because next week is Christmas. I will be doing a lot of travel. I'll be so busy, and it's also like the last full week of the year, so I kind of just need an easy win. So we'll adjust the wheel to our benefit here, but I am gonna still do my best to make sure that it is a 2-book vlog instead of just a 1-book vlog, because I don't want to give you 2 of those back to back, but Yeah, enough stalling. I'm going to spin the wheel now. Okay, friends, so here is our wheel. I narrowed it down to 4 options, mostly because this colorway that I've chosen only has 4 colors, and I thought it would be very nice if I used all the colors and also didn't have one color that had multiple pie slices. Anyway, that has nothing to do with anything, but these are the challenges that I thought would be the easiest on my brain and my stress levels to try and get 2 books read for during the next week. So without further ado, let's give her a spin and see what I get. Okay, Heritage Months. Let's check out the hrcyed tracker and see what my options are. Alright, so there are 5 books that I have left to read for the Heritage Months prompt. 2 of them I cannot read yet. I can't read The Stone Sky or King of Crows because I'm not up to those books in those series. I have not yet even started the Broken Earth trilogy, so I think The Stone Sky is the second book. I still have to read the first one. And King of Crows is the 4th book in the Diviners series by Libba Bray, and I still have to read book 3. So, technically I only have 3 options for this. We have Hot Wax by ML Rio, which could be a good one. That's like a mystery thriller type book. And I actually, when it came out this past September, I actually ended up being the second person in line to like request it as an ebook on Libby from my library system. But I then suspended the hold because I didn't have time to read it then, and it's just been sitting in my like folder of books that I have requested on Libby, so I could clear that out. That would be good. There would be a good one. I usually reread this book every November, but I haven't had time this year. Actually, I think I do it every other year. I don't remember. But it's been a minute since I've read that one. It is one that I really enjoy. It's one of the few contemporary novels that I actually like love. And it would also be good for me to read that because I could then move on to the sequel that was published, I think this year, maybe last year, but it was many years between this book being published and the sequel being published, and it would be good to reread that, and then I can move on to Wandering Stars. So that's a good option. And then Other Words for Home would probably be a good option because I believe it is middle grade, and middle grade goes by very fast. So yeah, 3 very good books that I could pick to read. I'll have to do some thinking on that. So there you have it, friends. My third 1 week 1 hrcyed prompt vlog is coming to an end. How different was this one from the last one? Like, honestly, that was kind of a crazy shift from what I was doing last week to what I was doing this week. Though thinking about it, what I did last week was probably a big influence on how this week went. So, yeah. Anyway, I did only get 1 book read this week, but that's fine. Sometimes that's just how it is. That's nothing to be ashamed of. I am very tired now, and I'm also very hungry. I should probably eat breakfast, so I'm gonna go chill out and take it easy. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel for more content, and that way I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, everyone.